best buds, it's Cathy with Cathy's Garden, and I'm so happy that you've joined me today. Today is hashtag tagmetuesday, and we're going to make these beautiful paper flowers. But first, let's have our shout out to Laura S.M. Cox, Tammy, Chrissy B65, Christine, Karen, Cecilia, and Michelle. I appreciate each and every one of you. Okay, you guys, I have been busy. These are addictive. Warning, warning, warning. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Let's look at them. Oh, aren't they precious? And they are so simple to make. So this is just coffee dyed paper and book page. That's what this has in it. This one has coffee dyed paper, music paper, book page, and a little printed paper, some printed paper. Let's look at that a little closer. Oh my goodness gracious. This one is dyed paper, book page, coffee dyed paper, and some more book page. And of course, it has a button. I forgot to say it has a button. And I put some thread through the buttonholes. Look at these. I'm just going to bring them up so you can see them because I just absolutely love them. Now, you're going to say, what can you do with them, Cathy? Well, you can use them as a page decoration. You can put a little hole in them, and you could put a little light bulb safety pin, and you could hang them. That would be so cute, right? You could do a safety pin, a paper clip, and, you know, put another piece right there so you could use it as I keep wanting to call it a safety pin, a paper clip. That is really pretty. I just looked up, you guys, and it's snowing. It wasn't supposed to snow today, but it's snowing out there. Okay, that was a surprise. So this is a beautiful blue one. And here's another one. I'm just going to show you what I've made here, and then I'm going to show you how I made them. I always like to see when people show me up close what they look like, especially when it's this type of thing, and there's so many things to look at, so many different layers in these beautiful little flowers, and they're nice and flat. Depending on how flat your button is will really basically depend on how flat you can make your flower. You know, some buttons are raised more than others, and that's really the bulkiest part is the button. And the now this is thicker string or twine than, say, this one. This one is much thinner than this one, and you can tell that. And I went ahead and I made a little journaling card using one of the flowers. Isn't that cute? Oh my goodness, I think that's so pretty. So pretty. All right, you guys, let's get right to it, and I'm going to show you what you're going to need to be able to make your own beautiful flowers. And don't forget, this is a hashtag tagmetuesday. So that means you make yours and show them to me over on the Facebook group. And the link is down below. And the code word is hashtag cathysowinghappiness. It says it right there. So I give you the code word that you're going to need to join. And it's so much fun, you guys. I love to see what you make, what your take is. So here we go. I'm getting all the stuff here. Ta-da! Okay, I have some scraps. Once again, you can use scraps in this project. So I have scraps. I have some punches, and the reason why I have some punches is because on these flowers, I really like to use a base to glue your first circle on. It just makes it sturdier, and then it's much easier to attach to your page. It seems to stay a little flatter. So I really suggest that you do that. So I have, and this is out of a cardstock. It's not just flat, you know, flimsy paper. It's a cardstock. So then what else do I have here? I have my inks of your choice. You can choose the color that you want. You're going to need some buttons, and you're going to need to put your thread or twine or whatever you choose through your buttons. Some have, excuse me, some have bows and some are just tied in a knot like that. So I have some of those. I have my glue of my choice. I have some E6000 because buttons are finicky. Sometimes they don't like the glue and they will pop off. They won't pop off with this glue. But with this glue, I always use a toothpick to get it off and to put it back on. So I have a toothpick. All right, I think, oh no. I have some things to put in between my layers. So I have some gauze, which is a cream color, and I have some netting, which happens to be white. But you can use anything that's very, very thin, okay? You need thin material to go in between. So the first thing you're going to do is decide what your base is going to be. I kind of like this for some reason. And I found that if I cut it in a square that's about the size that I want the circle to be. I imagine a circle in the square without the corners, and that helps me stay more in the round shape. When I go around, I can just kind of cut the corners off and just take a little bit off around the edges. You see what I mean by it helps me stay in a circle shape. So I end up with a pretty nice looking circle, and you can see exactly what I mean by that. Okay, so that's a tip for you because I kind of was having trouble. I was ending up making oblong things, and I was like, egads, this doesn't look as good as I wanted it to look. So I came up with that. Another way that I found that's helpful is if you have to make graduating circles. You have to start with the big, little, and you have to decide how many layers you want. So like for instance, this one has 1, 2, 3. This one has 3 layers. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 layers. So you just have to decide. And it differs, you know. You'll get to where you'll make a bunch of circles. That's how I started. I just made a whole bunch of circles of different sizes, and then I inked around the edge, and then I started putting them together. And you want to make sure that you try your best to make it so you can see the bottom layer when you put the top layer on, the next layer on. You can see that layer when you put the next layer on. So you can actually see the different layers. Okay, you don't want to cover your layers up. This one, you can see that there's a lot more space between the first layer and the second layer. I'm building from the bottom up. That's why I'm calling this the first layer and the second layer. All right, so next, let's see. I think I want to use a coffee dyed paper, and I want it to be smaller. So I've pulled it off to the side. Can you see I've kind of pulled it off to the side here? And I'm saying to myself, okay, I want it to be about this big of a circle. Okay, that's kind of all going to end up oblongy if I'm not careful, but I'm going to give it a go. And we're just going to go around like this and put that down. Now, I think that's too much space for me, for my liking. I would like to see if I could bring that in just a little bit more. So I'm going to use this one, and I want to make it just a little bigger. So I'm going to judge with this that I can make it a little larger. So That's what I'm going to do. That's why it's really easier if you just make a whole bunch of different sized circles out of different things. Book page, coffee dyed paper, printed paper. Instead of just trying to do it like I'm doing right now, this way is a little more difficult than it is if you just make a whole bunch and then put them together and say, okay, this one will work. Oh no, that one's not big enough. This one's big enough. That one's, you can choose a little easier. And it is a little easier doing it that way. All right, so next I'm going to move another one right here in this next one up. And I'm just making my circles like this. And I think I want to end, I have a few circles left from when I was making all my stuff. And it's too big. This is what I mean by it's easier if you make a whole bunch of circles and then you can go like this and say, well, that will work. Well, that won't work. That one will work. Okay. So I'm going to lift this up so you can see it. They're all graduated in different sizes, but yet showing the size of the paper below. Okay. So now let's move this all out of the way very quickly here. And I do have a base. Nope, I need a base. Here's this base that I just punched out right there. All right, now what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to ink all the way around all of these. Now y'all don't want to see me do that, so I'm going to ink around all of them. All right, you guys, I have them all inked up. Now what I found to be the easiest is when you stack them up like this, turn them over. And then start with your base, which is a cardstock. So add your glue to your base. And then lay down your first circle. Okay. Now you're going to need to lay down something of your lace, like this is the gauze, and you're going to need to cut it in a kind of a circle. There's two ways I found that I can do this fairly easily. And the first way, I'm going to get my good scissors. The first way is to take it like this and to cut around it. That's the first way. The second way is to fold it like this and to cut the edges off in a circle like this. So you just folded it into a pie shape and then you take the edges off. So let's open this back up. See, it's fairly a circle. Okay. So now we're going to add some more glue. Don't be stingy with the glue. You really want these to stick down well. So I added the glue there, but I'm going to add some more glue right here because you really want your flowers to stay together. Give it a push down. All right, now you're going to need to add another layer. So I'm going to choose this white net here. Might have to find me some more. Get in my stash and get me some more out. I've used so much because like I said, you guys, once you start making these, you won't be able to stop. They're so much fun. Now, this needs to be smaller. Right now, it is really the same size as my big one, and I don't want it to be that big. So I'm going to need to take it down a little bit. So I'm going to fold it back up in the pie shape. Actually, I'm going to judge it by this. And I need to take off about that much. Okay, here we go. And let's open it back up and let's see where we're at. Nope, I still want more gone. I still want it to be more. Okay, now let's see where we are. Yes, that's better. So now I'm going to add some more glue. And I've got this, put this right on here like that. Add my next layer. Like this, and you have to kind of pay attention to, to make sure you still have the layer below showing all the way around like that. Now, let's see here. I've got some little pieces. I was hoping there would be enough for me to finish this off. I think there is. So I'm going to fold this into pie shape once again. I'm just going to show you what that looks like in case you can't see it because it is net. I'm just going to trim off the edges. And I'm going to open it back up. Oh, I got some on there. For heaven's sakes. Okay. Now, open it back up. Now, if there's a corner, I always just snip the corner off. I don't want any corners. Okay, now I'm going to put some more glue down, like that, and then I'm going to add this one, my next layer. Okay, now I need a little bit more, one more. Don't think I can get away with that one. I'm going to have to get some more of this gauze. All right, I have a piece of gauze here. Actually, I think it's folded. Yeah, it is. There we go. Yeah, there we go. That's much better. Now, I'm going to need to pie shape it. And I'm just going to hold it here and kind of judge how much to take off. And open it up and get it stuck on. This sort of gauze is kind of hard to work with, I think. It just falls apart and it's kind of... Let me get this open without it falling apart on me. There we go. All right, so let's add some more glue. Lay our gauze down. And then lay some more glue on our last piece. All right, let's get it down. Oh yes, so cute, right? So cute. Now, if you think that this is too much on the outside here, you can trim that. You don't have to keep that way. You can trim it. Now it's time to get our button. Let's choose the button that we want to go in the middle. That one's really cute. That's a yes. That's a yes. So what you do is you just, you have your holes in your buttons. You just take your thread and you put it through the buttons, and then you just tie a knot or you tie a bow. Any of these. That one's not so much. That one's not so much. This one's a different color, not so much. Not so much. I want this one, that's a little big. Okay, this is the one I'm going to go with. So I get my E6000 and I'm using a toothpick, and I'm just going to get a little on my toothpick, just like that. And I hold my button with my thread and I put it right on the bottom, just like that. And then I stick it right in the middle of my last circle and I brush it down. I usually like to use my toothpick so I don't get any glue on my hands. And then you can take your toothpick and you can get any glue that has come up around the edge. There we go. Oh my goodness, you guys, I absolutely love these things. You guys, you've got to try it. Make some for yourself. Show me what they look like over there on Facebook in our group, hashtag #tagmetuesday. Oh, you guys, I've had so much fun. If you've liked this video, give me a thumbs up. I invite you to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. I'll see you there, guys. Bye now.